Listen, sorry to interrupt, but it really is important for us. If you can just hit the like and subscribe button, that allows us to bring you the very best financial intelligence and the best guests on the planet. Anyway, appreciate it. Like and subscribe.
What we're about to announce is really big for me. It's something I've worked 4 years on, and it's been hard to get there. But what is about to happen at Real Vision not only changes the experience for the members, but it might well change the entire finance industry.
I'm Damien Horner, the co-founder of Real Vision, and in this 4-part series, I'm going to take you on a journey into the future. We're going to explore how the next generation of the internet is going to change all of our lives. And we're starting the story with Real Vision, because they're about to do something quite remarkable. In fact, this move is so significant, I went out to Grand Cayman to chat with Raoul and get under the skin of what's happening. Okay, so you've got a big announcement, and I know Real Vision seems always have lots of announcements because it's a journey. It's an ongoing journey of development, but this is a big one. Tell me about it. What are you doing?
Well, it's kind of been a long time coming.
Right.
Because don't forget, we pioneered crypto and Web3 from when we first started back in 2004.
Way back.
The first ever video.
Yeah.
And I've always said it's going to change how the internet works and how the financial system works. But it took us time to go there because we need to educate people on roots.
Yeah.
But then once we educated them, we now need to deliver on the promises of Web3. And what we're going to do is we're going to build the future of Real Vision on a blockchain, which is Sui.
Okay, so wait a sec. If I'm a member, what's the benefit?
The idea is to build trust.
Okay.
Web3 is all that trust. In a world now where we have AI, we don't know who's human and who's not. Also, in a world of Web3, using a token can be a loyalty system. So we can see what you're doing on the platform and reward you for that. Maybe you're a long-term subscriber, you renew every year, maybe you get loyalty points. But unlike airline loyalty points, where they keep issuing more of them and you can buy less with it, a million miles gets you to London to Birmingham, it's like useless. So the idea is to create a trust layer where you get to participate in the community, the ecosystem of Real Vision. Maybe you're a content provider, you're providing trade ideas or research notes or anything else, organizing events. You start to get loyalty points which are on-chain, and those will be in your wallet. And a wallet will be abstracted away, so it's just part of your account.
Right.
And it makes it super easy. Again, this is the technology Sui allows us to build. And so we can then collect them, have proof of them. So it's to create a sense of community and loyalty, but also trust. Because if in a world of AI, somebody's posting trade ideas, somebody's commenting on the platform, are you real or are you AI? Okay, this is a really important part of who is who in the internet world, because now we're bringing agents and people. It's okay to have agents. We'll have agents with trade ideas, but people need to know that it's AI.
Hi, Raoul here. Listen, I think we've got until 2030 before the economic singularity arrives. Now, it might not be the exact date, but it's around then. So we have about 6 years to figure out how to unfuck our future. I've put together a report to help you called Prepare for 2030. It's going to help you take the first steps in that journey to make sure you're secure past 2030. So just click on the link below and start your journey now.
So that's one of the big changes that is coming. It's this trust layer.
And presumably that's going to lead to closer connections with other people in the community because I'm going to get to know them better. Can I see other people's rankings?
Credentials. Exactly. Now, it may be the credentials that you've been putting up great trade ideas and they're verified on-chain. So they're immutable. They can't go away. So I know Damien is a terrible trader.
That's absolutely right.
And I will never follow you. But the reality is it's also other credentialization. You know, we as humans credentialize by what do you wear? Where do you hang out? What do you drive? All of these things are harder on online worlds.
Yeah.
But with this, you'll be able to see, oh, he's been a Real Vision member for 10 years. And he's also gone to these events as part of these groups. And that credentialization gives you an importance within the community, is a social signifier, and allows you to connect with other people of commonality of interest.
And presumably I can see that person's ideas, I can see their comments, I get a proper understanding of whether that's somebody...
And how many points they've accumulated. It becomes transparent. So it's not like me lying to you saying, look at all of my American Airlines points.
Yes.
This is...
Which you do.
Which I do, to claim I'm important. But this will be credentialized. I'll be able to look at Damien's wallet and see
very little in there.
Very little in there because you're, But yes, so that's the idea as well. So it builds trust amongst people.
Okay.
And it builds trust with the outside world, that this is a trusted place for the exchange of ideas, the exchange of thoughts, the community of people getting together. Who are we?
Yeah.
Who am I dealing with? Trust and the depth of community that comes with the reward system, the behavioral rewards that you can do within Web3.
So Real Vision is about to move to Web3, but actually that's not the big story here. It's really about what that transition will enable, which is giving the investors and traders on the Real Vision platform even greater access to the power of the community hive mind and the ability to translate those insights into rewards and actionable ideas.
Let's say you and I are both posting trade ideas.
Yeah.
And they're on chain, they're recorded. So I now know, or you can tell, is Raoul any good or not? So maybe in the future, that something becomes investable via a token. I can invest in Raoul's ideas. Or we could get a group of us together and say, well, here's Real Vision's best ideas. So now you've built this idea around crowdsource asset management, where it's all on chain, it's all transparent, and there could be one token that I buy, and it's Real Vision's best ideas.
Okay, so crowdsource asset management, just explain that in more detail, because that sounds like a really clever idea.
Yeah, so the history of Web3 and the internet currently is the move from centralization to decentralization. In finance, that was what crypto did. It took it out of the power of the central banks and the power of the banks themselves and gave it to the people. Now, the obvious logical step is that one of the largest parts of the entire financial system is asset management. And that is held by gatekeepers, big financial firms. But really, do we need those gatekeepers? Do we need to pay them? Because there's a book called Super Forecasting that shows that if you get a group of ordinary people who are well-educated and smart, like the Real Vision audience, and you've given them a task, which is figure out the best investments. They may not be investment professionals, but given a community and an exchange of ideas, they outperform the experts because they're broader and deeper and they have all sorts of knowledge that others don't have. And that book really changed my whole perception. It's like, oh, we could do something much bigger here, which is the multi-trillion-dollar asset management business. We could all become asset managers as a group because we've been educated on Real Vision content. We've been talking to each other, exchanging ideas, and then we could create an ability to invest in those ideas.
And presumably there can be different kinds of those collaborative groups.
So many. It could
specialize in different areas or...
And we're not there yet, but equities and stuff will all end up being tokenized. So it could be equities, it could be crypto, it could be anything. It could be Damien's best ideas. It could be an AI portfolio that competes within the Real Vision League of Traders. And we can invest in that. Or it could be somebody says, I'm going to create an index of Web3 gaming businesses.
So we can learn from each other, but we can also financially benefit from that shared knowledge.
So now you're a Real Vision member, you've proven your credentials, and it's immutable, it's on chain. And somebody says, well, you know, Damien's really good at this. I don't
think they would, but let's imagine, let's fantasize.
Probably not with you, but maybe somebody else. But they would say, oh, he's really good at this. I would like to follow his trade ideas and invest in them. Now, at first, we could just copy trade you. That's one way of doing it. But even better is if there's a Damien token, which is his medium-term time horizon crypto portfolio. And I'm like, this is really good. I could maybe buy a token in that, and then you get paid performance fees and management fees. So now you're a hedge fund.
Wow.
Now, there's some legalities and stuff. This is where the industry is going, and everybody knows it. It's hugely disruptive.
But this step to Web3 is how we get there.
That's right. Because at first we need to prove that you can't change your ideas. You can't pretend your track record's better than it is. Like on X right now, you don't know whether somebody's actually made the trade. You don't know whether they've changed their ideas, deleted the post. None of that can happen. And it's all verifiable and it can't be changed. You can then get the whole community's ideas together and create baskets of ideas, the best trade ideas on Real Vision. And that can become like an ETF, but tokenized. So this is where I think this is all going, which is crowdsourced asset management.
My mind is racing at the moment with ideas. There's so many opportunities that could come out of this. So I just want to ask you about one aspect of this. Let's say there is a group that I trust and that I like and I've been following within the Real Vision community, and I like their ideas and I want to invest in the things that they are talking about. How do I do that? Do I then have to go off and find a trading platform, or is there a way to seamlessly?
So eventually there'll be a token and you'll be able to execute directly on the platform that group's token.
Oh, wow.
But in the interim step, because that's still quite far ahead for the industry to get to, legalities and all of this stuff, is simply I can just copy your ideas. Now, copy trading is not something new, but that social proof trading where you come up with an idea and I say, you know what, I love Damien's 3 trades. I click execute and it goes straight into my brokerage account or straight into my wallet on the Real Vision platform.
Wow, okay.
So if you think Real Vision started off as ideas, it's now user-generated content, crowdsourced ideas, and now it's going to go to execution as well. So you can kind of manage your whole financial journey on Real Vision. And it could be integrating with your brokerage account, or it could be straight into the wallet that we set up.
Okay, so this is big. I can see how big this is, and I can understand now why you have to move to Web3. But how do you do that? How does anyone build anything on Web3? You talked about Sui, but what does that mean exactly?
It's not straightforward because it's a different way of doing things.
Yeah.
So it requires some expertise that we don't really have in-house.
Not many people will, I guess.
No, but it's not a problem because one of the great things about Sui and some of the other big blockchains, to be fair, they have a lot of support systems, whether it's how to build in the Move language, how to write in the Move language. They've got AI to help you do that and debug stuff. But also they've got teams in-house to help onboard Web 2 businesses into Web 3. You see, don't forget, they came out of Facebook. Their job, their vision is to change all of Web 2 to Web 3. So they've got to make it easy for people to do.
It's clear that this is going to be a massive opportunity for Real Vision members. But we also want you to consider how to factor in the role that Web3 will play when it comes to thinking about your investments and identifying the unicorns of the future. So with that in mind, let's find out more about Sui, the company that's helping Real Vision make this transition to Web3. So Christian, Sui are teaming up with Real Vision, but is this move to Web3 something that any company could do, or is this is this just something for an organization like Real Vision?
We all made this interesting transition into the internet.
Yes.
Right? And that was Web 1. Right? And that opened up a world of possibility, not only for people, but for business.
The world changed.
The world changed. It was a fundamental shift in how we are as a society. And then we moved into this environment that we called Web 2. And that was commerce and, Amazon and Facebook, and it was the ability to connect and conduct business. And every company in the world opened up a website and had an ability to interact with their customers in new ways. And so we've been living in that environment now for a couple of decades, right?
That is indispensable to our lives, work lives, personal lives. It's the fabric of how we function nowadays.
100%.
Yeah.
So the question then is, do we remain in that environment or do we evolve, right? And so if the answer to that question is, well, certainly we're going to evolve, then the next obvious question is what do we evolve to? And so we have these interesting technologies that are being built now, right? We have artificial intelligence, we have robotics, we have this idea of quantum computing, we have blockchain, we have crypto, we have all of these unique sorts of technologies that are purpose-built in their own right to do specific things. What Web3 is likely to be is the idea of interacting with your customers in new, unique, novel ways. It really is what every business wants, regardless of size.
Yes. I totally understand and I love it. But is this, okay, one day, maybe in the future, perhaps in 10 years' time, or is this happening now? I mean, Real Vision is starting the journey now. Are they going early, or is this something that's already happening?
So I would say that we're 8 or 10 years in meaningful ways.
Okay.
Yeah, so we are, if you look at the adoption of technologies, we're right on the precipice of watching these technologies converge in a meaningful way. And the infrastructure that is required to do that is something like Sui.
Right.
Right? We all came from a place where we served 3.5 billion people a day.
Which was Facebook.
Facebook.
Meta.
Yes. Yeah. So we certainly understand scale.
Yeah.
We understand how to do these things inexpensively, very rapidly, safely. We will provide the coordination layer that allows these various technologies to interact with each other in meaningful ways for people, for businesses, for institutions, for enterprise, for government, because they're all interconnected.
And so if I'm running a business, should I be making the move now, or should I wait and see?
I don't think the move ever ends. It's literally like the journey from Web 1 into Web 2 into Web 3. It hasn't ever stopped.
There wasn't a date.
No, there's not a start and a stop.
It kind of happened.
You just begin to, so I think as a business, you have to make the logical decision to continue the evolution of your business. And this is the next logical place to.
And presumably, I mean, there's Sui, there's Ethereum, there's Solana. There are different ways to do this. Yeah. Why would I go with Sui? Why have Real Vision chosen to go with Sui? I mean, Real Vision won't be a Sui company. You know, I think they believe in a multi-chain world. But how does that fit? How do I make those choices?
What is incumbent, what is required for technologists is to version out the things that you do to a place where you have product market fit, where you have the ability to do the things that you need to do at scale, at speed, and safely.
Right.
And I can make a very strong argument that Sui is the first one to be able to do that, and is probably the only one for a while that will be able to do that.
Right.
Can you use other kinds of infrastructure? Of course you can. Should you? No.
Okay, Real Vision have started this journey. We all know Raoul, he knows his shit when it comes to this kind of thing. And what he wants to do with the platform is really quite extraordinary. How do you see the Real Vision experience being used as a kind of a model for others? Because a lot of people will be watching this and want to learn how to make the same move.
Yeah, the great thing about this is that it's not a one-size-fits-all thing, right? It's the technologies are very malleable.
Right.
And so Real Vision has decided on its own journey. So what it will be is an interesting exemplar. It's not something that you would copy one for one into another business. It is the opportunity for any kind of a business owner or any kind of a decision maker around, technological solutions to be able to, customize their own experience for their need.
And thinking about it from an investor point of view, which obviously a lot of the Real Vision audience are, they're investing at one level or another. Forgetting about investing in Sui or a token or even investing in Real Vision, but should they be looking at businesses that are thinking about the move to Web3? Is that a signifier of opportunities that might open up to those businesses? Should that be something that people use as a filter when looking at their investment decisions?
Anytime that you're looking at investment opportunities, the people that are leading that company should have a very clear vision of what it is they're headed to and why. And if they don't have that, there's a problem there.
And do you think Web3 is one of those, should be one part of that vision?
As it relates to Web3 and the adoption of it by companies, there will be a lot of opportunity to interact with customers and vendors and other parts of your supply chain in a way that would look foreign to you today, but tomorrow will not.
So we've heard from Raoul about the significance of Real Vision's impending shift to Web3. And we've also heard from Christian about how Sui are enabling that transition. But why are we telling this story? Well, it's not just because it's so damned exciting for Real Vision or its members. It's also because we want you to see how the transition to Web3 is going to redefine businesses around the world. And that's something every investor should be aware of and thinking about. So really, if we strip everything away, this is about the community, which is something that Real Vision has always been about, but it's really doubling down on the power of a community and it enabling me, both intellectually, but also potentially even financially.
Yeah. The idea is all in the power of the hive mind. It's not me as a content provider. It's not Real Vision. It's the members. They're super smart. They've educated themselves. They've gone through the journey. They're posting ideas. They're sharing ideas. Their successes, their failures. It's all online.
Yeah.
We've been planning the next iteration of the Real Vision platform that's really going to lean into user-generated content, trade ideas, all of the things that we've talked about. So that will set up the community for success. Community success is what Web3 is going to be all about. So we first have to rebuild the platform. We have to take into account what are the Web3 elements that we will be launching, and then we'll integrate the Web3 elements. So most people won't even notice it, but before they know it, they're earning credentialization. Their ideas are being stored on chain, and people are starting to realize, okay, this is a whole new world. And if we can turn that into something that supercharges your investment journey or anybody in the community's investment journey, okay, then we've let lightning out of the bottle.
Almost everyone watching this video will have experienced one digital revolution in their lifetimes, one that changed all the rules. Whether it was the launch of the internet, the arrival of social media, Bitcoin and digital currencies, cloud storage, or simply companies like Netflix, PayPal, Uber, Zoom, and Amazon totally turning sectors upside down and creating brand new and exciting investment opportunities. It feels like Web3 could be the next leap forward in this long line of revolutionary and digitally driven shifts. And what's clear is that the companies that get in there first will be in pole position to set the new agenda. In this series, we're going to give you front row seats to watch the change and learn from it in real time. Next month, we talk to some of the businesses that are already starting on this journey and look at how they see the future that's about to change for us all.
Hey, thanks for sticking around to the end. Look, if you enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button and check out the video here on the right-hand side. I'm sure you'll enjoy that one as well. And if you're ready for more, go to realvision.com/join. I'll see you there.